Welcome into Jags A.M. Kainani Stevens here with Brian Sexton and John Oehser, and a lot of things happening in the offseason, so we got some good stuff to talk about today. So let's bring you our big things. And big thing number one is a big person. It's here to stay because Trayvon Walker has signed a 4-year extension, meeting with the front office over the offseason, getting a deal done, and he's excited that he has that kind of back and forth and rapport with the front office.
It really means a lot because, like you say, getting a new staff in, it's always that uncertainty. And coming into when they first got here, I feel like they did a great job of just communicating with me of things, and that kind of already put it in perspective to how that relationship was going to go. Sometimes you never really know how it's going to go, but ever since they've been there, I feel like we, on my end and their end, we've been transparent with each other, and we just have cordial conversation to where we can all just be comfortable. And that was one of Liam's main things, say what's on, speak your mind, and we'll go from there.
Brian, I think we all expected this to happen, but when you have changes in the front office, you don't know if their perspectives on players are going to be the same. But Liam Cohen coming in, James Gladstone, they clearly feel the same about Trayvon Walker. Now he's going to be here through 2030.
You know, Kai, one of the first things that James Gladstone started talking about when he was announced as the general manager was Jaguars DNA, and they were going to define that through the players that they acquired and obviously through some of the players that they had. I wrote that in my notebook, Jags DNA, and I started writing names. And the first name I wrote was Tony Baselli, obviously, and the next one was Fred Taylor, and the next one was Trayvon Walker. John, we talked about this a little bit last week about it was probably coming and when would it happen. To me, it didn't matter when it happened as much as it mattered that it happened, because this guy just absolutely defines the caliber of person and caliber of player that you pay to create your culture, your standard, your DNA.
Yeah, James Gladstone talked about intangibly rich players. Trayvon sort of defines that, and now he's tangibly rich.
There we go.
And I'll apologize to the Ozone reader who first emailed that over the weekend for stealing that. But look, it's not really a surprise. Like, people outside always want to look at sacks with Trayvon because he's a defensive end, and his sack numbers when he's been healthy have been fine. But there's always sort of this hyper criticism about the couple of things in terms of big sack numbers that he's not. It's what he is that matters to this franchise. And after meeting Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and knowing Tony Baselli, I would have been sort of stunned if that group hadn't said, we need this kind of player person. I always think of the house. Trayvon is the foundation of the house. Mm-hmm. This team wants to be tough under Liam Cohen. Yeah. He's your toughest player.
Just one more thought on where he ranks and how he is, how I see him, right? He may not be that elite pass rusher. The guy's going to give you 17 sacks, like Micah Parsons is for Green Bay, like Aiden Hutchinson does for the Lions. But, John, he's an elite defensive player. Mm-hmm. I mean, the way that he plays the run, the fourth quarter stops we saw, Kai, late in the season last year, the play that he injured the knee on, right, where he took the tight end for the Chargers and the right tackle and drove them all the way to the sideline to take the running back down for a 1-yard loss. The guy's an elite defensive player, and you need those kinds of guys. You don't find it very often.
Foundation player, and you don't mess with the foundation. I know not a ton about houses, but I know that much. Our second big thing today going to be home away from home, because finally the news has come out. We are going to be playing in Orlando in the year that they play away in 2027. And Tony Baselli talked a little bit about having that home away from home.
And that's how we feel. I mean, we think, listen, number one, we think a lot of our fans will come down from Jacksonville. We think we have a ton of fans in Orlando. We also know that there's a ton of NFL fans here. And then that with you combine that with the amount of visiting teams that are going to want to come to Orlando to watch their team play. I mean, it's a great opportunity. I mean, as somebody who has 5 kids, I spent quite a bit of time on 95 and 4 heading to Disney, so we're familiar with it. I know my family's excited about coming down and watching the NFL and watching the Jaguars play here.
John, not an ideal situation to not be playing in Jacksonville. Nobody wanted that, but this was kind of the next best thing and the best situation for this team.
Well, I got some emails from people not following it incredibly closely, maybe. Oh, disappointed they're not playing in Jacksonville. Well, look, there was going to have to be a season away from Jacksonville to make this work, and the Jaguars worked really hard not to make that 2 seasons. So considering you had to have one away, I think the city and the Jaguars were fortunate to have a city so close that was able to house an NFL team. There are certain parameters in terms of broadcasting the game, in terms of being able to host a game, and hotel space. And had you been in the middle of nowhere, that could have been a 5 or 6 hour deal. So it's not ideal, but it was the thing that made the most sense. And you'll put your head down and get through it.
I came over the Hart Bridge this morning, and as you go down Bay Street, you see the Four Seasons Hotel, which looks like it's getting close to being done, and the office building, and the cranes all over the stadium. And the short-term pain of having to play a season in Orlando 2 hours away is just it's dwarfed by the long-term gain. John, you were here the day the franchise was awarded. I came shortly thereafter. For decades, we have talked about this franchise and its viability in terms of being able to not only compete, but to compete at the highest level with teams from New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Dallas. Now the opportunity exists for the Jaguars to have that sort of stability and consistency that we always wondered would they be able to have that in a league where the big markets were growing so exponentially. If you have the ability, and many people don't because you don't live in North Florida, just drive through downtown Jacksonville and just look at all the cranes and all the buildings that are going up. This thing is stable. Short term, having to deal with Orlando is so infinitesimally small compared to the stability and the opportunity that exists for this franchise to play here for your grandchildren's grandchildren. It's real.
It's real and it's coming and it'll be here soon. We're very much excited for that. Our final big thing today going to be draft room because we're getting caught up in some other things, but the draft is right around the corner and it will look different this year. Brian, they don't have that first round pick. They have a lot in the second round. That's kind of a sweet spot for them. But the focus is different. I think everything involved with the draft is a little bit different. No draft party this year, obviously with no first round pick, but this is kind of where you want to be. You don't want to be focusing as much on this being an exciting time as more of a building block time.
Well, and I think we saw last year with what James Gladstone, Baselli, and Cohen were able to do to find good football players in the third and fourth round, even deeper than that, guys that we're excited about who could come on and really make a difference. You got 4 of the top 100 picks, John. I mean, you're weighing in at 56, which there's not all that sex appeal of being in the first round, but you have 56, 81, 88, and 100, which means day 2 of the draft, you have an opportunity to find 4 future starters. Those are valuable picks, and there's a lot of real estate for the Jaguars to maneuver on day 2 if they want to.
Yeah, Jags fans, understandably, and I think we've fallen into it too, have always, this has been a cool time of year for 15 years, because in a lot of years it was the only cool time of year. Mm-hmm. This is when contending teams, they do their job, but it's not always splashy on draft day because you usually have the 29th pick, and it's a much lower profile pick than top 10. If you're bored and sort of disinterested in the draft as a fan this year, hope that you can get used to that because that's what you want to be in terms of the first round. But Brian's right. This is a team right now that can really get rich and do well. Second, 3 third-round picks. I think they're probably more excited about the draft than the normal fan is.
It's different, but it's definitely a good place to be.
Yeah.
Stay with us here on Jags A.M. We're going to talk more a little bit about the season away in Orlando. We'll also check in with Devon Hamilton, see what he's up to in the offseason.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The top-ranked rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report. Our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
All right, right, Jacksonville, listen up. When your AC quits in the Florida heat, who do you call? When the power goes out in the middle of the night, who do you call? When your water heater floods in the garage, who do you call?
Call the Donovan brothers.
Donovan Air, Electric, and Plumbing. Call 904-270-COOL. That's 904-270-COOL. The moment you drop off donations at a North Florida Goodwill, your things start new lives. A donated jersey helps someone suit up for success through education and training. A pair of old cleats helps a job seeker step confidently into new career opportunities. Every donation fuels Goodwill's mission to provide education, training, and career opportunities, removing barriers to employment and building brighter futures across our community. To find your nearest donation center and learn more, visit goodwillnorthfl.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives. At GEHA, they stand behind their members because they were founded by members. So with zero shareholders to mind, GEHA keeps their members in mind by offering a health plan for every stage of life, plus hearing and fitness discounts. At GEHA, one thing is clear. Your health isn't their business, it's their purpose. That's why GEHA has been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. Visit GEHA.com to find your federal health plan.
I'm Karen Strybick, Senior Manager of Community and Development Initiatives for the Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation. Florida Bright Futures Scholarship helped me throughout my entire career to get me to where I am today. Working for the Jaguars Foundation, we support so many different initiatives within the community, and being able to give back is what's at the core of my heart. And we do that from childhood literacy to food insecurity to neighborhood revitalization and so much more. Thank you, Florida Lottery, for funding Bright Futures Scholarships. Sky is the limit from there.
Welcome into our off-season check-ins, where we check in with your favorite Jaguars players, see what they're getting up to in the off-season. So I wanted to check in with defensive tackle Devon Hamilton. What's your off-season like, Devon? Do you kind of fully shut off from football, take a break, hang out with the family, or do you still kind of pay attention a little bit and like ease into it?
Kind of a little bit of both, I would say. Definitely have to take some time off and enjoy the family, enjoy some trips here and there, but definitely been working hard and, training, getting ready for this upcoming season.
You had a great year last year, kind of felt like you got back to, maybe 2022 form when you were at your best. And did it feel like you were back to your normal self? I know we talked a little bit about this during the season, kind of battling your way back from the injury you had in 2023. But did it feel like you were kind of getting back to where you wanted to be and kind of being in fine form, season 6?
For sure. I felt really, really good, and just really going out there and just having fun. So I felt like that was my biggest emphasis last year.
When you have a year like that, do you try to repeat that in the off season, kind of do what you did before, or do you kind of just take it as it is and maybe change things if you feel like you need to, but do whatever, training staff might say?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of just improvements, work on what you already have, but also try to improve some areas you're a little bit weaker in the year before. So it's kind of what I've been doing.
Had some fine moments we all remember, of course, your batted down pass in Las Vegas to save the game, and then also some long snapping duties. Do you do any of that stuff in the offseason, or is that kind of like maybe some training camp, we work on long snapping if we have to, and high jump?
It's like riding a bike, you always got it in your bag. So hey, I'll practice a little bit, but not too much. It's not the main emphasis of what I do.
I'd love your point of view, obviously getting drafted in 2020 and being with the team through so many different kind of eras during that time. What has the last year been like with, the change in the front office with James Gladstone and Tony Baselli, but then also the new coaching staff starting with Liam Cohen? What's this change been like, and does it feel a little bit different than maybe some of the others?
It's definitely a change. Like you said, I've definitely been into a lot of changes since I've been here in Jacksonville, and this is definitely a change for the better. I think our team's going to enjoy this a lot, and we're going to win a lot of games, and fans going to enjoy it a lot. So it's been really exciting seeing all the changes going on recently.
From the outside, we feel like we've seen a lot of the buy-in, and part of that, at least on the defensive side of the ball, has been Coach Camp, who everybody kind of has a different perspective of him, but he's just so intense. And he was getting interviews for head coaching positions, but he's going to be back this year. What is it about him that kind of brings everybody together, and his personality?
I feel like the juice he brings, for sure, but I feel like he just ultimately really cares about you as a person. And I feel like that goes a long way with players. a lot of this is obviously we play football for a living and this is what we want to do. But I mean, caring about somebody's family and their overall health and how they're doing on a day-to-day basis is really the big thing with camp.
On the field, are you excited to kind of have that continuity? The defense played, really well last year, and to have that continue into this season, what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, just winning more games, honestly. I mean, I feel like we have the ability to do so, but we just got to put it out there on tape.
I feel like you got the taste of it now. I feel like getting into the playoffs and the way they finished the regular season on the win streak, it felt like everyone expected to be there too. So do you feel that a little bit of a culture shift where winning's now kind of an expectation? It doesn't feel like as exciting in that regard. Obviously you want to win, but it feels like this is what we should be doing.
For sure. I mean, that's kind of what we've been striving for many years now. And, sometimes we've fallen short in the past years, but I feel like that's the culture that Liam brings to the game and to meetings every single day and, emphasizes every single day. So I think that's the big cultural change in the Jags locker room now.
The draft's coming up in a couple weeks. Do you remember that time for you? What was that time kind of like, getting ready for the draft and then kind of having draft day come around for you?
It was very different. I was expecting a lot of different things, but obviously COVID happened when I came into the league, and it was a lot of sitting, waiting, and trying to figure out what's going on. I was actually in Orange County when it first happened.
Okay.
So it was very interesting having to move back to Ohio and kind of sit for a while. And when are we going to start? No one knows. And getting drafted, sitting at home was a little different, you know. No partying or anything like that. So it was very strange. But at the end of the day, it was worth it.
Worked out the way you wanted. You got drafted for sure.
For sure.
You guys will be back in the building soon for off-season programming in a little bit. And obviously the rookies will be coming in a couple weeks. Do you kind of like that role now that you've been in? I mean, it'll be your 7th season, right? Coming up. So kind of play that a little bit of a veteran role with some of the younger guys coming in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like my rookie year was just a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel so long. It's kind of a strange way to strange place to step into because, I just feel like I'm still learning too. So trying to teach the young guys and still trying to learn yourself, it's pretty unique.
It'll be a good experience though, and we'll be excited to see you back in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
That was our off-season catch-up with defensive tackle Devon Hamilton. Stay with us here. We'll have more for you coming up on Jags A.M.
Oh, no.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Hey sports fans, CSX is delivering big wins. Every day, CSX is on the move, delivering the freight that keeps America on track. From raw materials to finished goods, we connect businesses and communities across the nation with safe, reliable rail transportation. Just like your favorite team, CSX is built on teamwork, precision, and a commitment to excellence. From moving freight efficiently to supporting local economies, CSX is always pulling for progress. CSX, we're pulling for America.
A bold change. A historic development is underway for the Bold City, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and team partners are a part of it. Introducing First and Forward, a development partner program highlighting the significant contributions made toward the transformative efforts to the city of Jacksonville. Thank you, Belter, Brooks Building Solutions, Jackson Electric Supply, Office Images, Sims Crane, Start Tech, and People's Gas. Championing progress on the field and in the community. The First and Forward program. The First Coast Forward Together. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/forward together.
Football may be in the offseason, but your appetite's still in midseason form. And at Daly's, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is smoked low and slow. Tender, juicy, and packed with bold flavor. I'm telling you guys, it's delicious. It's a heavy hitter. It brings game day energy to any day of the week. So fill up like a Jaguar. And me with Daly's barbecue brisket sandwich. Daly's, big flavor, no off-season.
What's here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's here is Wolfson Children's Hospital, with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
I'm Foye Lewican from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Driving distracted or under the influence is dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everyone on the road around you. Ride with Do Not Disturb. That call, text, or social media message can wait. Choose your music before you turn the ignition. Anytime your eyes are not on the road ahead, you're distracted, so pay attention. Remember, drive high equals DUI. Plan ahead. Have a designated driver or get a ride home. Keep a clear head to see clear ahead, and let's get everyone home safely.
This broadcast is ozone friendly.
The Ozone.
Welcome back into Jags A.M. today. We're going to get some of John Oehser's wisdom on all topics.
Whether you like it or not.
We have the resource, why not tap into it? Let's check in with JT from Palm Coast. He says, hey, John, it's very nice to see Trayvon get his money. It's a fair deal that doesn't set us back. Glad we paid him a year early instead of a year too late. Good deal all around.
Yeah, I kind of thought they paid him at exactly the right time. I kind of get what he's saying, and if you'd waited one more year, then maybe he comes back, he's healthy. I expect him to, if not be a 10-sack guy when healthy, to feel like a 10-sack guy, meaning to get the kind of quarterback pressure that he got in, 23 and 24 when he was healthy and had 10 sacks each season. It was the right time to do it. I did get another email about, boy, they're signing guys quickly. They signed Jacoby Myers quickly. To me, they've been doing things, and even Cole Van Lannon, they've been signing these guys at the right time, and they've been signing these guys because they're core players. I thought the timing on Trayvon, considering too, Brian, the regime didn't really know him last year. So to have re-upped a major contract before you saw him play, I could see why they waited. Now both sides are comfortable with each other, so this is sort of when I thought it would happen.
Listen, the reason it's right is because they saw him play 2 weeks after having surgery on a dislocated wrist that he suffered in the game in San Francisco. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that for a moment. His punch against a defensive or offensive tackle or a tight end is so valuable to him, so important to him. And he had surgery and he's out there playing. And then to complicate that in November, 6-7 weeks later, is the knee, right? He's having to wear a brace. So the entire left side of his body is somewhat weakened by the fact that he's not at full strength and he's out there playing. Sign me up for those kinds of guys.
Yeah.
And listen, I agree with you. I think Trayvon Walker in a normal year is a 10-sack guy.
Right.
Year in and year out, he is a 10-sack guy, which I think, if he plays long enough, could one day make him the Jaguars' all-time sack leader. Just consistency of being able to play.
Yeah, I would expect him to eventually hold that record.
Yep.
Just the consistency has been impressive for me as well. And I think economically, when we look at the contract, it feels like they're signing guys, even Jacoby, when you look at that, they're signing guys they want to keep. They're doing it in a way that they can still build around the rest of the team. Yeah. We're not seeing these record-setting deals where then it's hamstringing them with anything else. This is very much a long-term goal in a situation where they're trying to build the entire core.
Yeah, with Jacoby and Cole Van Lannon, I understand how if you're looking from the outside, it looked quick, but they're both going to be free agents in this offseason. So with Jacoby, you knew immediately. When they signed Jacoby to the extension in November, I guess it was, I was like, well, thank goodness they did that, because you saw what he was doing. You saw what kind of guy he was. Cole Van Lannon the same way. Had he hit free agency, they signed him, early January. My guess is that price was going to accelerate as you got closer to March 15th.
Well, I think it bears pointing out, didn't we all have the same reaction last year when Micah Parsons got his $47 million a year deal and Aiden Hutchinson got his big deal? Could the Jaguars find a way to make this work with a number 1 overall pick and a guy that's very productive. And they found a deal that worked for everybody. They found a value that he was comfortable with, that they were comfortable with. There was a time where I wondered if they'd be able to get it done. So the fact that they did well in advance, because you and I talked last week, hey, when does this happen?
Right.
We were thinking, training camp sometime during the season. To get it done now so that you can go into the draft and you can focus on your salary cap and having everything fit together well, they're in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think my guess is I don't talk to agents anymore in my current role. But my guess is had Trayvon said, no, I'm not going to sign with Jacksonville, gone and hit the market, I think he would have been the highest paid player in whatever free agent class he comes out. The bidding war probably would have skyrocketed his money past what he got. Everybody cares about money. I don't think he necessarily cared about doing that. I think he wanted someplace he's going to be fine financially for the rest of his life. I think he realized this was a fair deal based on the player that he is. Not that he's not a sack guy, like a pure sack guy. So he's probably not going to get that sort of money, which is a different market. But he is a first-rate player who can define a defense. I think he got that kind of money.
I came in on Saturday to talk to him, and you can see through the interviews and read. I'm happy. Let me tell you, he's happy. He wants to be here. His parents, his sisters, his nieces, they were all here, all in the draft room. They had lunch together. But he is one of those people that if I were to rank the caliber of person and the caliber of player, right, I'd put him side by side with Tony Boselli and side by side with Fred Taylor in terms of that. And it was on full display. He is very happy.
He's here to stay. Logical next question for you, John. Good move on Walker. Do you ever see him moving inside? We need to know. The people need to know.
Well, in this day and age, to say a player is moving to a different position, I'm not down playing the question of the questioner. Players play so many different positions within defenses now. It's such a hybrid thing. I think Trayvon Walker will probably remain listed as a defensive end and play there primarily in base, but it's not a base league anymore. On passing situations, he played inside more last year. I anticipate that they will use him to try to solve what is clearly an issue with interior pass rush. I think putting Trayvon Walker inside in a lot of passing situations makes sense. You also probably will see him play linebacker in some situations, or look like he's playing linebacker, because he can do anything up front. Will he line up at DT next to Devon Hamilton on the depth chart? I kind of doubt that will happen, but I think he's going to be a force inside.
Find me a sub 300-pound defensive tackle on an everyday basis. I mean, the only one I can think of recently was Aaron Donald. And last week, Liam Cohen was talking about wanting Trayvon to be disruptive in practice like Aaron Donald was all those years in Los Angeles. I'm with you. You mentioned earlier that the front office got to know Trayvon last year. Well, so did Anthony Campanile, right? So now he's got a year with him and now can figure out what the next role is for him inside. But he's got the length, he's got the strength, and he's got the suddenness to be able to be a factor. But I don't think you want him in there on every down, because he's a guy who stretches the game to the sidelines with his quickness.
I didn't talk to Trayvon about this specifically last year, but I sort of wondered too, early with his wrist, would it have been harder for him to play inside in certain situations? Because I don't know that it seems like it might have been. As he got healthier at the end of the year, maybe he was able to do that a little more. I love watching a healthy Trayvon play. I hope he's healthy next year for more reasons than just my own.
John selfishly wants that.
Right.
Yes. Final question for you, Rich from Georgia. What is the current seating capacity in Orlando? Is Orlando doing anything in the offseason to upgrade or add additional seating? Are there any requirements the NFL has to impose on Orlando to bring it up to NFL standards? Lots of Orlando questions, but I think
I don't know if the NFL is going to impose anything. But,
they like to impose their will. They might.
There are standards. I think it's 65,000. It's going to be in 2027, if I remember the number right. I wrote about it. They certainly have. They're doing a $400 million upgrade to get to NFL level. If the NFL didn't believe that it was going to be at the imposed level, then the deal wouldn't have happened. So it will be an NFL level standard stadium when the Jaguars play in it. One little misconception is that Orlando did all this work just to host 9 NFL games. No. Well, they're doing it also because they host 3 college football games. I'm not sure what they will be able to do this year because of the construction. But they're looking at this long term as they want an elite stadium, and the Jaguars playing there for a year is part of it.
That's the truth. They're spending $400 million so they will meet NFL standards. It's one of the reasons why the Jaguars are going there. The long-term vision for the stadium is to be a stable place where they can host college and NFL games. I mean, listen, at some point, the Buccaneers are going to do their stadium, and this stadium for Florida and for Central Florida sets up perfectly to be able to meet the needs of NFL and college football. So the $400 million investment is one of the big reasons why the Jaguars can go and play there.
There's a lot of stuff they still have to figure out with Orlando, but we do know that the team will still be based in Jacksonville. It's not like the team's moving to Orlando by any means. I always like to clarify that a little bit.
I've got a couple questions about that, too. Will they change their practice schedule? Within the parameters of this conversation, the team will do everything as it does now, except treat Orlando home games like a road game in terms of travel. I'm sure there's nuances within that, but for the most part, it will be just like it is here, except we will leave Saturday for Jaguars home games the same way that the team leaves for road games.
We haven't heard yet if you have to drive by yourself yet, though, right, Zone?
Well, usually they want me isolated.
Just so they need you in the zone, so they let you have your own.
Right. Well, nobody wants to be around me, so which is fair.
We'll keep you all updated on travel and whatnot when we get more details, but things will still be very much based here in Jacksonville. Stay with us. We'll tell you what's coming up next week as they get ready for the draft.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
All right, Jacksonville, listen up. When your AC quits in the Florida heat, who do you call? When the power goes out in the middle of the night, who do you call? When your water heater floods in the garage, who do you call?
Call the Donovan brothers.
Donovan Air, Electric, and Plumbing. Call 904-270-COOL. That's 904-270-COOL.
I'm Karen Strybick, Senior Manager of Community and Development Initiatives for the Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation. Florida Bright Futures Scholarship helped me throughout my entire career to get me to where I am today. Working for the Jaguars Foundation, we support so many different initiatives within the community, and being able to give back is what's at the core of my heart. And we do that from childhood literacy to food insecurity to neighborhood revitalization and so much more. Thank you, Florida Lottery, for funding Bright Futures Scholarships. Sky is the limit from there.
Listen up. If our kids are going to grow up healthy, we have to work together out there. A healthier tomorrow depends on the calls that we make today. It's about eating right and focusing on their physical and mental health. We should be reading to our kids every night. Can you give me 60 minutes of physical activity every day?
Yes, I can.
This is our healthy playbook. We do this as a team. Our kids win. Who's with me?
Get healthy at nemours.org/Jaguars. Nemours Children's Health. Proud pediatric partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
Johnstone Supply Wholesale provides HVAC contractors with Amana air conditioners, heat pumps, and furnaces homeowners trust. Built to be reliable, quiet, and energy efficient to provide indoor heating and cooling comfort year-round. Don't settle for less. Trust the experts. To find the right system for your home, locate an Amana Advantage specialist near you at johnstoneamana.com. That's johnstoneamana.com.
Jags fans, time to lock in your seats for 2026. You can place your deposits now. Obviously, next season will still be here at Everbank Stadium, but it's going to be limited capacity due to the construction that is currently ongoing right now. So you want to get locked in as soon as you can. Don't miss out on the biggest matchups this season. Heck, check it out at jaguars.com/tickets.
Nah, you don't want to go for it. You do not want to go for it.
They run a sweep to Hall. He gets hit in the backfield. What a play by Trayvon.
Oh! You a mother dog. I can't this, man. I don't know why they want to play with me. I just told him not to go for it.
Travon Walker, ever the communicator, told him not to go for it, and got exactly what they didn't want, which was a stop on 4th down, well behind the line of scrimmage.
And I think, Brian, I think we're all on the same page about this. We are such a social media stat-driven league, and everybody focuses on sacks. If you took 4th and 1 stops and huge plays like that and count it, was that play a sack? I don't know. I mean,
he made a play against the Colts like that too.
Yeah, and so if you took the number of plays that Trayvon puts the other team in poor situations, which are impact plays, which sometimes matter as much as sacks, then I think people who watch the game have less to say critically about Trayvon than people who go on Pro Football
and just
Reference.
look at numbers.
So
listen, if you go back and you want to put a situational value to it as well, if you remember, he did the exact same thing against the Colts after Bashal Tutin was stripped. And the game, I think it was 21-10 at that point, something like that. And they had the ball at midfield at the end of the first half, and you think, holy cow, they could get into this thing no matter who the quarterback was, because Daniel Jones was injured, and he came through with a huge play on 4th down that just stuffed it and just extinguished the light. Well, how do you put a value on that? And you had to be paying attention to the Jaguars against the Colts, who were reeling at that moment, to truly understand how big of a moment it was for Travon Walker, and he does that all the time.
I think the overall theme that I know, Kai, you and I have talked about it some. If you listen to people around the league now, they're starting to catch on that the Jaguars, as much as they throw the ball around and Trevor played well, their identity, I heard somebody on a podcast a couple weeks ago, they are a tough team, and teams around the league who play them, they're up there with the toughest teams in the league. It's what they want their identity to be. Don't let 44 leave if you want to be a tough team. Because to me, he's the spine of that. Him and Brenton Strange, to me, are the guys that I don't want to. If I'm watching the game and I see somebody hurt, Trevor's the first guy that I don't want to see down. Brenton and Trayvon, for that reason, that identity, that spine, to me, they're the foundation of the franchise.
Absolutely. And now we know at least Trayvon's half will be here for a long time to come.
I think Brenton's
They're
coming.
working on Brenton Strange coming up next. So keep an eye if there's any more extensions in the next couple of days, and then we'll be back next week on Jags A.M to talk more as we look into the draft upcoming less than 2 weeks.